Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What is that? It's a theory that suggests all humans generally have the same needs, starting from basic biological all the way to advanced psychological. So what does that look like? Well, sometimes you need to pee. Sometimes you wish you made better choices. Maybe you need time with your friends. Or just stop sucking and actually be good at something for a while. And sometimes, probably very rarely, you kinda just start kicking ass at life. That is self-actualization. Why does it matter? Because it's hard to self-actualize if you have to pee.
Physiological, safety, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Are we going through and defining each one of those?
We could, yeah.
Okay. What do you think about our hands? Are we doing stuff with our hands?
I'm trying to do stuff with my hands.
I feel like I'm doing this too much.
I always stand like this.
Always.
Maslow's.
We all know a little about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. There's 5 categories. We have physical needs, safety needs, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Physiological needs are at the bottom of this hierarchy, not because they're more important, but because that's the order that they occur in.
Sleep, food, hydration, freedom, and disease.
Now, safety, I want to make sure that my life is not in peril. If I'm running away from a mountain lion, that can be kind of a big concern of mine.
Safety is a tricky one because there's physical safety and there's psychological safety, right? So we know if we're hanging from a tree branch 20 feet up and our grip is slipping, we feel pretty unsafe, right?
That is unsafe.
It turns out we feel unsafe when we are stressed, worried about our loved ones, worried about making a deadline. Like the same general brain processes are happening whether we feel physically in danger or psychologically in danger.
Then we go up into that tier of love and belonging. What's that about?
Yeah, well, love and belonging is our human urge, our human need to feel affiliated, to feel respected, to feel heard, to feel a sense of belonging, to be part of a group.
I get a little bit hung up on that one. Maslow's pyramid is a hierarchy, and they go in that order not because one is more important than the other, but typically one occurs before another. And so if we are saying that first, I got to take off those physiological needs, then I'm worried about safety. Now I'm talking about love and belonging. I know that there have been moments in my life where I may have sacrificed those safety needs in order to be part of a group. This is a hierarchy. Why would I do that?
Well, I think there's gray areas between the levels. And we know a thing or two about, for example, how adolescents experience feelings of isolation and loneliness. Adolescent brains, when feeling lonely, when feeling disconnected, when feeling alienated from their peers, can look a whole lot like an adolescent who's fearing for their lives.
So Maslow's came out in the 1950s. There wasn't a lot of fMRIs back then, so we didn't have the ability to look at those types of reactions. Now we can actually look inside somebody's brain, see what's lighting up, and have a better understanding that, look, this hierarchy, this order that we believed things went in, it typically happens in that, but it's not black and white.
That black and white thinking is kind of interesting to me right now, because when it comes to any kind of stage-like theories or hierarchical theories, our brain really wants to make sense of that, and so puts up very clear boundaries between what it is that we're trying to think about and learn. And it's like the pyramid in its starkest form is primary colors. You know, call it red, blue, green, it's very specific. I don't know if those are primary colors, but I think they are.
Yellow, I think.
Yes.
Yellow in there? Yeah, you can't make yellow with other colors.
Yeah, okay.
Yellow's a color.
But the reality is when you look at that pyramid, we find through advanced brain scanning techniques that there's a lot of bleed over. And I think that we can probably find elements of those different colors across all 5 levels.
Yeah, I like that. That's poetic. That's good.
Right. Esteem has to do with our feelings of self-worth, our feelings of self-value, our feelings of competence around a given task or an activity. And so it's important that we as individuals, as humans, have an opportunity to experience those emotions, to feel good about ourselves, to feel competent in our endeavors. I mean, nobody likes to fail every single time, as much as we have tried, and we have tried.
We've tried.
But yeah, to have some measure, like, I don't think that we'd still be slacklining if we didn't take at least one step. I mean, I'm not sure.
Right.
And I'm gonna have a good show today because I'm good enough and I'm smart enough. And doggone it, people like me.
So obviously how you feel about yourself in doing whatever you're doing is important.
Yeah, you do look much smaller. I look huge. Hey, I'm gonna stand over here.
So then after that, we're going into that self-actualized zone. And that's a tricky one for me. Self-actualization is the idea that all your needs are met. Everything that you are doing is kind of selfless. It's for others around you. And maybe we've met people that come off that way, but even then, I don't know that it's a consistent state of being. I feel like maybe there's moments, and realistically, it seems like maybe you can look that way, but are you ever really self-actualized?
Yeah, our brains really want specificity, and our brains have a hard time dealing with ambiguity. So I think that textbooks for decades have named Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, the Dalai Lama as self-actualized people. But I think if you were to read in their personal writings, in their historical biographies, I think that you would find that these are people who are still always striving, still always learning, still always navigating ways in which they can get their needs met.
Yeah, we'd like to say that Gandhi's self-actualized, but are you telling me that Gandhi never got hangry? Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's got to be a thing, right? Like, I don't know if you're always there.
Yeah, right. Nelson Mandela, definitely when he was locked up for 28 years in South Africa, had some low moments, right?
Yeah. If we can think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs as an order, a general order of needs that need to be met before another one can really be focused on, it's helpful to think about that as a framework.
Yeah, it's a start of a framework, but then I think as we peel back the layers and dive in a little bit deeper, we understand that sometimes these different needs can cross over and even reverse in order.
Maslow's.
This is Garage University.
It is. We're in a garage.
We are in a garage.
All right. So last one?
Yeah.